Hey folks, it's Sunday. Greetings, and I feel like talking a little bit. It's the 4th of May. We're just moving right along. Cheers. If you see this, David, I love this cup. I feel so honored. I know it's nothing to have your picture put on a cup like in a mall, but just the fact that you did it was just so cool, David. Thank you. So I want to talk about my punk rock roots and some records I still have. I used to have a big punk rock collection, and I grew out of it. It was a lot of those records. It's like I got to a point where I'm not listening to these. That part of my life that was really intense faded. So I have some records that I kept for different reasons, and I want to show them. Was brought up by something I was watching on TV yesterday. I tried to watch D.O.A, the movie about the Sex Pistols, and that was depressing. Then I watched the record collecting 1 and 2. They talked to a lot of people from the punk and independent community in those music. So it brought up thoughts that I wanted to share. I also wanted to make a quick comment. Thanks, new subscriber. Thank you that I had someone said they're glad I had a great Bandcamp Friday. I did. He was saying that he sometimes thinks that on YouTube the influence of black music gets overlooked. There are loads of channels that discuss prog and rock music. Well, I don't feel obligated to discuss black music. I talk about what I listen to, and a lot of what I listen to is off the beaten path and interesting. So just thought I would comment on that. I don't have to be a spokesman. I'm a spokesman for humans. Plus, on top of that, this is my second time trying this video. I've always felt like an outsider to society, to the black community that I grew up in, to my city. I think a lot of people do feel like outsiders. We do. I'll say we, but I do. So music has just been my it's my wellspring. And interestingly, thinking about the black thing for another second, black music and black people's touch on almost all aspects of Western music is ubiquitous. So as much as I identify more as a rocker than a soul boy, the first music that turned me on, which was rock, was black people, Little Richard and not Elvis, but Chuck Berry. But the moment that really solidified who I am, from my perspective inside, is when the Beatles played on Ed Sullivan. That was a cosmic moment. I felt it. My sisters felt it. We screamed. We felt it like a bolt of lightning. And it changed my perspective. I was just a kid, but it really changed my life. And I identify that music as mine. Rock music. All music is mine, but I'm a rock and roller. So when punk exploded in the 70s, I didn't think much of the Sex Pistols, didn't think they were really anything new. They just sounded like rock and roll to me. The first music I heard that I thought of as punk was MC5 and Iggy and the Stooges before 77. But when it jumped off beyond what the media was talking about, there was an energy. It was a change in music, in rock, when punk happened, and I felt it and wanted to be a part of it. And one of the first shows that was quote-unquote punk for me was seeing the Ramones in like 1978. It was like an atom bomb went off in Omaha. Almost everyone that went to that show got involved. I started bands after that. And over the years, I've just continued to grow. And so a lot of my punk records I ended up selling because I wasn't listening to them. It was part of a flash moment. But the ones I've kept, the ones I can remember, I want to show some of them because many of the ones that I kept because of a personal connection. And I'll start with this one because there was something I was watching with the band D.O.A. and Joey Shithead, the leader of the band, lead singer, becoming a politician. And RAF played with D.O.A. twice. The first time I wasn't even in the band, so I didn't get to play that show. But we played with them. I forget what year it was. They were on tour, and Joey was he was very focused and businesslike. And so he was concerned about making it from our show to the next one on time. So he asked if they could play first and consequently open for RAF. So, but we got to play with them, and it was a good show. Joey and the guys were really fun. They signed my record. Good memories. I don't play these records, but I keep them. I want to show some of the bands that I played with, as well as just some other bands, period. Another band that we played with, Millions of Dead Cops, and another great show. I forget what year it was we played with these guys, but the leader of the band, I forget his name, I have to look it up, but after our set, he came up to me, and he said, why did you guys do that to us? Because RAF plays hard. We do. Whenever we play, we try to blow you away, and we were able to. If you see this, Dan, you know what I'm talking about. We've had some glorious moments where the band was almost out of control, so hot. And the MDC show was a good show, and he was like, shit, you guys fucking blew us away. I said, what's that? So I just told him, just bring it, We have major respect for you guys. Bring it. And they did. Another band that we played with on 2 different occasions, 2 different tours. Really like the guys. I never play this, but I keep it personal reasons. D.R.I. And we played with them on this tour, and more recently we played with them. But while we played with them, they were touring Crossover. Got it signed. Had a really good time at the show and hanging out with the guys afterwards in the parking lot and on their bus. Spike signed it for me. They were just crazy. Young, crazy guys. Trying to have a good time. Trying to make a little money. Really enjoyed their company. Let's keep it going. The Weirdos. This was within the last 10 years too. Their anthem, we got the Neutron Bomb from back in the day. Rest in peace, Dick Denny, who died not that long ago, the guitarist, John's brother. John Denny, the leader of the band. We're still friends online. Aligned because of our social consciousness and political stance. We love people and we love freedom. Weirdos. I have that one. This is more of an art rock than punk sound. If you watched me for a long time, you know that Rikk Agnew is a friend of mine. RAF actually played as his backing band, Rikk Agnew Fiasco, for 2 shows. And he stayed with me when he was here. We got along like a house on fire. Really like Rick. And so All By Myself is a great album. Plays everything. He signed it for me, personalized it. I have this also he sent me. The cover is hard to look at. Rikk Agnew Band, Learn. That person, that's not photoshopped. That's a real person with their face partially melted, burnt off. I think it's from napalm. They're alive in the picture. Rick was, in some ways, a big mess of a person and also a real astute guy. Pretty smart, but also a big self-destructive streak. but I related to him. So those shows were amazing. And let me just put this together with these. So besides playing with the Rikk Agnew band, as his band, RAF opened for the Adolescents in recent years when they got back together and came through on tour. Here's Welcome to Reality. And yeah, the Rikk Agnew Fiasco show was we played, we learned the entire Adolescents. Was it, we learned the whole album? I think we did. We learned most of it and played it. This is on purple vinyl. And then he gave me some more records. Rikk Agnew's Yard Sale. Signed him. This is after he went back home. Rikk Agnew Band. Symbol 6. Good guy. Good player. And also it was great to find out how much he liked prog. We listened to Sigur Rós and Yes together, among other things. And then he asked to use a picture I took of the band for this single. The Rikk Agnew Band, Chris Barrow's split single. Signed it for me, and on the back, there's a picture of the band and me. He said he just liked the picture so much that he asked if he could use it for the record. I said, well, of course. Of course. Now, this band is not punk, but I've kept it because it was RAF open for these guys. These guys were more of a kind of a trashy psychedelic sound, but it was a wonderful time. It was a great show, so I keep the record, Das Damen. And I was hoping something would happen with them, but nothing did. He signed the record. We had such fun. So these are keepsakes from shows where I just had a blast with the people. These are the times when I feel the most connected to others, is through music and sharing the experience of making music and connecting with audiences. So this is a keeper. Never play it, but it's a keeper. That was a really fun night. Right quick, some other bands that we played with that I don't have the records anymore or never had them was like Municipal Waste, Die Kreutzen, Angry Samoans, Descendants, Adrenaline OD, Dead Kennedys. I never liked the Dead Kennedys sound, so I never bought their records, but we blew them away. Jello Biafra stayed in touch with me for a while. I could probably get a hold of him now. I've got his phone number. But he hounded me. He's a record collector, and he wanted my first EPs. And I finally got them to him. Those are some bands. Another band that RAF opened for, had a great time with, and they ended up recording in my basement, NOFX. This is back when they were kids. Mike was just a overweight kid. Hepatitis Bathtub. He recorded this in my basement. So it says it right there. Recorded in a basement in Omaha in 1987. On Discogs, on the NoFX page, they finally added my name to the credits. And it took me a while to get a copy of this. That was fun. They were a bunch of boneheaded skater kids who I had to keep from wrecking my house trying to do skate tricks in the basement in my house. I said, no, take your asses outside. That was a fun day. I'm showing these right quick because it's important. I didn't get to play with them, but I did get to see Bad Brains. Are they godfathers of what we call hardcore punk? Absolutely. And black as black as they want to be. That's the thing I always say in my videos when it's pertinent to say it. The importance of colored people to the history of anything important. Black people are there. Eye Against Eye. Classic album. Reggae on here as well as hardcore. They played so hard in Omaha, they broke the stage apart. The quickness. Love the Bad Brains. Love the Bad Brains. Very important band. Now here's another band that RAF played with on 2 different occasions, 2 different tours. Again, we all got along like a house on fire. The leader of the band is still a friend of mine online. We talk a little bit. Sometimes a little bit contentious, you know. But Capital Punishment, when push comes to shove, I've actually recorded a cover of their song Ballad of a Broken Home. I like it so much. I had a blast with these guys. Both times we played with them, we got along really well. They signed my record. And the shows were explosive, energy-wise. They were just so much fun. Such a blast. Capital Punishment. Now, I'm including this just to let you know I know what I'm talking about. Were they from Detroit? Yep, Detroit Death, the black band that was punk without knowing it, but playing fast, hard music, black as hell. Nobody was paying attention to them till it's way past the fact. But if you haven't heard this record, they were on it. Pioneers. So often, black people and people of color are pioneers and don't receive due recognition. So here's some records. I think there might be more that I played with, but these are some of the punk records that related records that I've kept. Inferno, German band. Never saw these guys, but when I got turned on to this album, this is one I've listened to probably the most recent of all these records. The way this album starts, Habakusha. I love it. It's just, to me, it's just a great track. The whole album is pretty good, but the way this starts is like Inferno, and the picture is great. It just starts off, bam. I love this album, Inferno. So that's a keeper. This one too. Never saw Fugazi. I just was lazy and didn't go. Never saw Minor Threat, but to me, this is a very important record, Minor Threat. It's an original. Was never into straight edge, but what I related to about straight edge was how I've always been concerned about how disrespectful in general we are to one another. And so I did not get involved in punk rock and get involved with all the sexual shenanigans where everybody's fucking everybody else and just all this madness. And so I kind of related to that straight edge idea of, and I didn't drink, you know, I like to smoke pot, you know, but I was around a lot of destructive behavior and crazy parties that I didn't participate in. I was there to play the music. So I relate to that about Ian MacKaye and Minor Threat. It's a great album. Another Bad Brains record. Here's another one in Rikk Agnew's bands. He wasn't even in the band. Was he in the band when they met? Yeah, he was. He was. Okay. I love this album. I had to check. And you need to get me plastic. That is shot. D.I. Ancient Artifacts. Look what he says. Dereck is awesome. Freaking Rick we just really got along really well. So by the time the Adolescents came through, and Casey was with them at that time, Casey Royer, that was when I met Casey for the first time. He knew who I was. He treated me like a fanboy. It was funny. I really do have a reputation as one of Omaha's punk rock kings, and I love it. And one of the main reasons is because of how hard I play the music, and number two, because of how I've been a protector of the kids on the scene. Quite literally. I can tell stories, you know. Here's another one where I didn't play the show, but it was explosive. And the band wasn't used to black people. They were scared of me at first. But then the road manager said, no, he's a fan. Come on, sign his records. I forgot to grab the single. But from Italy, Indigesti. like raw power, but even more powerful. This is amazing. Azervati Dal Ingano. They just about captured the manic, frantic energy of the band on this record. I have the tour single that I bought. It's very collectible now, and it's signed. I forgot to grab it. This was a powerful show. Great band, Indigesti. It was funny, because when I brought the record up on stage to get him to sign it, one of the members literally panicked, like that. Oh, no, and the American road manager had to come up and explain, no, he's a fan. Racism and racial misunderstanding is just so ignorant and so uneducated. It sucks that it won't go away. Now, just a couple more and a couple singles and I'm done. I don't remember if we played this show or if I was just at the show. It was such a fun night, and I hung out with them all night afterwards. Went to someone's house and just partied, smoked a bunch of pot. SNFU, if you swear you'll catch no fish. I don't remember if I played the show. Maybe I just went, and there's a Chai Pig. Thank you, Dan. This is a Chai Pig he's dead. Unfortunately, the lead singer I think he's part Chinese. This is a piece of original artwork of his. That is so cool. But they, again, were another band on stage, and the music, I like this album a lot. They exploded. The show was just dynamite. And they were so much fun, and Chai Pig was very, I'm looking to see, I thought I might have had him sign this, but I guess I didn't. But he was very charismatic and magnetic. He was the kind of person that you rally around. There was just something about him. And I stayed till dawn. I just liked being around them. This is a great show. I have more wonderful memories from my punk rock shows and punk rock experiences than bad. Mostly good. And one more band. Didn't get to play with these guys, but yeah, I saw these guys. Sure did. Corrosion of Conformity. Now this, to me, is one of the best hardcore albums. They just capture the blind energy, and I'll call it that. It's just screaming. The picture of the singer here, Eric Ike, perfect. Love this album, and I still like this one. This one gets lambasted. It's nothing compared to their first album, but I still liked this, Animosity. Corrosion of Conformity. And then I did grab a few more singles. I think these guys are Swedish. This is a collectible punk single. That's why I kept it. Det Bittra Slutet. Asocial. Look it up. Another band that we didn't play with, but I've seen these guys. They were great. Naked Raygun. Great Chicago band. You probably never heard of this band, but I'm showing them Arm. We played a show with them in Sioux City. Young kids that blew me away. They were, and they just, that was the thing about punk rock. It's like, it wasn't about being able to play well. It was about attitude and energy. This is not an original, but the Avengers. We Are the One, right? I know I got people who know about punk rock watching my channel. And don't do any whatabouts. What about, because chances are I had them and I sold them. Okay. Here's one. Didn't play the show. Really enjoyed them. A women's band, Anti-Scruntifaction. I have to kind of, okay. and they signed it for me. They were Anti-Scruntifaction. Scrunty is what they would call girls who like to go to shows just to glom on the guys, you know, and give them head and shit. And they weren't into that. And they were real social, and it was all in their lyrics, and I just dug it. And I dug their energy. So I got along with them really well. They could tell I wasn't one of those kind of guys. Signed my record afterwards. These are good memories. And this is got good memories. Anti-Scruntifaction. Here is an original Danger House single, Rhino 39. And I used to have the Deadbeats. I'm sorry I sold the Deadbeats, Kill the Hippies. But I kept this one. Xerox and No Compromise. And again, you folks that know your punk rock know that Danger House is a revered label. It's very collectible. So that's what I have to share, folks. And I just felt like coming on and talking about that, my punk rock roots. I'll just leave it right there because I'm already at 26 minutes, okay? Take care.